Hey, this is install 1 down at the chicken coop. It's a little shed, plastic shed. So I'm going to show you my electrical system, my off-grid 12-volt electrical system, and it's not that good. These are all old batteries that are not really good anymore, but they still hold charge, and also have a mess down there. But oh, the thermometer just went off, so the fans just went off. So have this charge controller right in here. Has a there's mosquitoes. I think they're mosquitoes. There've been a whole lot less now that the creek's dried up, but they're still out. So I have this diode right here. That was before I had the charge controller in here. All these I have 2 solar panels come in here. They're 2 Harbor Freight solar panels, but they go into that diode. That's for a trailer, and then it goes into the charge controller, which 11.8 volts right now, 1.6 volts coming from the solar panels, 0 amps. That's not a surprise. Then it has all of the different values. Batteries 11.8. There's a, there you go, 6.5 kiloamp hours, so 6,586 amp hours have been charged with this. But that's also before it was just on here. It was also on the RV when we were off grid, before Idaho Power got the power brought out to us. So that's pretty much everything in here. This is like an old breaker box. Have one breaker up there, and found that at the dump, just like most of the things that I am using. I found at the dump. But 2 batteries. This one's mainly just a backup battery, because sometimes this battery doesn't work too good. I have all that mess of wires that I'm not even going to talk about, but there's the fuse, the main fuse. There's a wire that goes up, that goes out, along with a negative. Have some power lines going out here. The mosquitoes, I do not like mosquitoes. These 2 tie wire power lines, basically just an iron wire. Those are pretty much not used anymore, but that extension cord is used. That goes out and over to the shipping container. That has 12 volts, plugs in here, hooks up to the fuse. And now over here, you might be able to see it. You can sort of see it. There are the 2 solar panels, Harbor Freight 15-watt solar panels, I think. And those 2 wires just come down here, and then run up in that little elbow, and then that charges the batteries. So I also have a little separate wire that comes out to that little blade fuse right there, and then that goes up and then in right there behind the insulator inside, and there's also a connection to ground right there, or negative. And there's also a positive, this wire right there, that comes from a switch inside that turns on the light. And these wires coming around here, positive, negative. I have it kind of set up like a old house with the little knob insulators, and I don't have knob insulators on every single one, but you can see there's a little not the best connection there and there. Those 2 wires come down here to this little 3 insulator thing. Right there is the switch, so there's 3 wires coming out, it has a light in the switch. So this one over here is negative, this one right here is positive, and this one is the output right there. So I also have this little thing right here, which is basically a homemade switch that just hooks from the positive to the output, so basically bypassing the switch inside. So I have the ability to turn on the light from out here, in case I'm just like looking in there, seeing if all the chickens are in, and then just go and turn it off. So that's what I use that for. That's the wire that goes out to the other side. I also have this little switch right here. Most of the switches I have are homemade, but it's just touching that there. There's that light there, which is actually a pretty bright light. And then there's an old brake light right there that shines out into here. It puts out a decent amount of light. And also right here, this puts out a lot of light all the way back. It's kind of hard to see on the camera. But turn those off. I also have a little connection right, where is it? There. So positive and negative go into like a speaker wire, I think, or doorbell wire. Actually, that's doorbell wire. And then we'll get back to that later, but there's also these wires that come out here. Hemingway number 40, what is it? I forgot which one this one is. How have I forgotten that? It's Hemingway 40 something. Oh, it's Hemingway 60. Sheesh. I was off. I don't know how I forgot that. And Goldie is looking around for a chicken poo, of course. And in here, there's that little doorbell wire, the gray wire, comes up. And there's the brake light. There's a little ground wire right there. And then the red wire is the positive coming in. Then there's also the doorbell wire, goes up to right there, hooks into this little voltage regulator, goes from 12 volts down to 5 volts, so it's an adapter basically. And that wire comes down to this automatic door. So I think that I can get it to trigger with this light. Yep. Mosquitoes. You can see it's coming up very slowly, and basically just to replace the batteries because the batteries are starting to get low. So I just put in mosquitoes. I just should run. So I replaced the batteries. They're getting low, so it now runs off of the main battery on the back, and I've got to run away from these mosquitoes. Also, if you didn't know, we have some bees, honeybees. You can see them up in there, sort of, not on the camera. Oh wait, maybe a little bit. Yeah, might do some bee videos too. There they are. Look at all of them. Can't believe they're still out on the entrance. Go. Okay, hopefully the mosquitoes are gone by now. Down at the chicken coop. Okay, we're back at the chicken coop. I'll hurry up and get in here before the mosquitoes follow me in. This door needs some help. It really does not like to get closed, so have that switch there. Turns on. I don't need this anymore. So there's a light bulb up there. So that wire, the output wire from that switch, goes all the way around up there, and it comes in that wire right there. Goes down and into there. Just a little hole through the wall. And there's also the negative. Hooks up to the negative, comes out around and hooks into the light. And oh, now I see why that light bulb isn't working. The wire came out. That's fine, I'll do that later. fix that later. So, I also have these two little 12-volt fans that they're on a thermostat. They don't really do much, but they help cool it off a little bit. So, there's positive, I think, which one is this one right here. Positive comes in on the bottom, that one right there, comes in, hooks up to the positive, goes out to the, actually it goes down this other bell wire. Goes down to right here, which I do need a flashlight right here. See, there's an old mechanical thermostat. So when it turns on like that, you can hear the fans turn on. See the contacts there? Then they turn off. So that comes on at a certain time whenever it gets hot. Then positive comes back up, goes into that little wire nut, goes up into the fans, and then back down into negative. And that's negative right there. And Goldie and Daisy are barking again. Sheesh, they're so loud when they run. And that's it for in here. Ow. She just pecked me. You just pecked me. Good. Protect the eggs. Oh. Okay, now this door. It just likes to come off the hinge. Like that. And they're barking at the neighbor dogs. Ugh, those dogs. Okay. So, let's see. You can see that's falling down, so I have to lift it up to even get it up on the thing. This is such a cheap shed, but it sort of works. Okay, now back to the power lines, or 12-volt power. So, the positive and negative comes out this way, go around the bush pile, and right here I have a pole, and there's an insulator up there, inline insulator, old porcelain one, and positive is on that one, and there's also this switch right here, which turns on a light right here. And I kind of designed this one to where it's kind of like an old design for like a street light, maybe. I tried to get it to look like that, but that hooks in right over here. This is the leftover wire from our well, and there's also a connection right here with this insulator, which is very rusty now, but there's just that wire connects into there. And there are mosquitoes on me. Oh, why are there mosquitoes? So that goes over there and hooks into the light. And also same thing with negative right there. But also there's a wire, the one on the bottom, comes over and joins in with this orange extension cord. I just put this in, so I haven't gotten wire nuts on it yet, but a positive is black, and negative is white. And then that goes into there. Ground wire doesn't do anything. But then that goes way out here. It goes pretty far out here. Here's a pole. This is old bamboo stakes from a ski area. I haven't really gotten it in the ground that far, but it sort of works. It's leaning a lot, but comes down. This is probably like 40 feet. Another one, this is a little junction. There are two different sections of the wire, or extension cord. It's pretty beat up, like right there. That was all frayed, but keeps on going. And last pole, don't have an insulator on it, but just folds back on itself, comes down to this speaker wire, and I can run a couple things off of it. Don't think an inverter will run off of it. I actually have it